Wait a bloody moment. Is that...
Thor's hammer. And his daughter.
I'll make you proud, Dad.
Well, good for her. Freya, I've always wondered, why was Freya so revered here so quickly upon his first arrival?
Well, to begin with, it wasn't his first arrival. Very few know this, but Freyr was one of the earliest visitors to ALFHEIM, back in the dawn of realm travel.
Set that aside for now. Come.
Another piece of Garm's handiwork. Lassa Riff.
All of Garm's handiwork has been fixed.
Good. I am glad.
Well, how about that?
Atreus would be happy to know we tied up some of his loose ends.
Perhaps we should let Thrasfulgar know.
Perhaps.
Shield strike now!
I feel bad for the Asgardians. Even worse for the Midgardian refugees. Learning the god they indebted themselves to didn't care for them at all. Such profound betrayal.
Aye. Their homes will not be the only thing they will be rebuilding.
Didn't I tell y'all there'd be something to see? Oh, this is real good for wood. Better for bone. Wanna talk for a spell?
This cave extends underneath the desert.
Aye. A refuge for the Dark Elves by the looks of it. One of the few remaining now that they're barred from the temple. Perhaps we'll find Atreus' wounded animal down here.
Lead the way, Kratos. I trust you to not get us lost underground.
Left side, incoming!
These poor elves, blinded by hate, lashing out at everything and everyone for their fate.
They will not listen to reason. Combat is unavoidable.
Trust me, I know. Still, I wish it were not the case.
Patience. A virtue or a threat?
Depends on the reader.
This creature Atreus heard, why wait until now to free it?
It was not a priority.
We were too busy attempting to stave off Ragnarok to indulge in any desert dalliances.
Shame. I imagine Atreus would have enjoyed a quest to free an injured animal.
Yes, he would have.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to twist the knife.
You did not. Atreus has chosen his path. I trust him to be safe.
Enemy behind you, Kratos!
Brother! You wee bastard's about to explode!
my own son when he was Atreus' age. Baldur craved adventure, but with the words of the Norns repeating in my head.
Your worry consumed you, as my rage once did to me.
You overcame it, eventually.
Thanks to Atreus. And his mother.
Yes. Perhaps if Odin had loved his children as much as he loved using them, both would still be with us.
Bolo!
Behind you! Look out! Behind you! Behind you! Look out!
Behind you! Incoming!
Atreus reminds me more of Freyr in his youth than of Baldur. His sensitivity, his compulsion to help any and all in need.
That is his mother's influence. Despite all attempts to train him otherwise, Atreus was eager to help lost spirits or run errands for the dwarves during our travels together.
Faye's influence runs deeper than that. Why do you think you're the one assaulting a cave full of hostile dark elves to save a wounded creature? See that explosive? Setting it off.
Excursions like this once served as training for Atreus, or an excuse to gather resources while testing his abilities. But I made him a promise. His voice as my guide.
And his voice told you to come out here?
He would approve. Strange, that means more to me now than it did before he left.
You've said it yourself. Atreus takes after his mother. His approval is her approval.
Another nightmare! To the left!
Alpha! Get down!
I haven't seen one since I was a child.
Great, Gefyun's ghost! That's the largest bloody half-goof I've ever laid eyes on.
That howling. It sounds familiar.
It's the Song of the Sands. They don't normally sing like this underground.
That must be the cause of the storm.
Aye. Judging by all this hive matter weighing it down, it's been trapped here for dozens of winters.
There must be a way to cut it loose.
I'd wager that there's nothing here a well-placed throw of the axe can't solve.
That helped. We've cut it loose, but it can't seem to escape.
Much of the hive matter is gone. We can free it from the surface now.
How in the realms did they capture such a large one?
Half-goofers are known to burrow, so I'd hesitate to place full blame on our dark elf friends.
Even though it's bound by their hive?
Hive matter doesn't belong to the dark elves, any more than the light belongs to the light elves. It's just another of ALFHEIM's natural resources. One the elves have used since the time of their ancestors. And while the light elves seem keen to banish the hive over on their side, the dark elves make effective use of it out here in the Barrens.
But if this is true, are we doing more harm than good by destroying this hive?
You wish to leave the creature enslaved?
No. Freyr would have wanted us to do everything in our power to restore this realm. We will free it.
Careful, brother. You're covered in Bifrost. That was the last stronghold of the Aesir.
So, Odin's oppressive ways have finally ended.
Are you satisfied?
Yes. Perhaps the realms may finally find peace and healing.
Behind you! Look out!
Poison at your back! The Alpha!
Brother, that groom's found a perch on high!
Here.
That a Cavassier poem. Never heard of this one. Another one of Dvalin's diagrams.
You spoke of his conscience.
Aye. He saw that the Aesir would likely use his powerful weapons to cut down his fellow dwarves, so he ripped out his design pages and scattered them.
And what if... him?
Well, the Allfather found out. He wasn't terribly pleased.
Here! You should be able to cut this part away and free the half-goofa!
Never imagined I'd see a half-goofa fly again. Can't believe the lad missed this.
The storm is gone. The Song of the Sands has returned to Alfheim, albeit somewhat diminished from how I remember it as a child.
Atreus will be glad to hear it is no longer in pain.
You look forward to telling him.
One day. Yes.
You gave him a gift, allowing him to walk his own path. I know that wasn't easy.
I know you cared for him as well. You have always done right by Atreus.
He is the best of us.
Well, nice to be able to have a real conversation out here for once. Freya, earlier you mentioned that Freyr was one of Alfheim's first visitors. Care to elaborate? I wasn't in these lands at the dawn of realm travel.
Well,
No more for now. Focus.
Freya, earlier you mentioned that Freyr was one of Alfheim's first visitors. Care to elaborate? I wasn't in these lands at the dawn of realm travel.
well,
Enough talk for now. Be ready.
Much of the sand has been cleared away, but another storm rages beyond that pass, which must mean...
Another half-goofer. Freya, earlier you mentioned that Freya was one of ALFHEIM's first visitors. Care to elaborate? I wasn't in these lands at the dawn of realm travel.
Well...
Another time. We must focus.
Later, Mother. Hostilities demand our focus. Brother on the left! There we are. No more Drogadens, no more Hertha. One less thing to worry about.
You worry?
Oh, never while you're around, oh warrior of rippling muscle. Freya, earlier you mentioned that Freya was one of ALFHEIM's first visitors. Care to elaborate? I wasn't in these lands at the dawn of realm travel.
Well, we believed for a long time that all the giants had died in the flood, until one of them appeared in Vanaheim.
Not now.
Sort of a harp. I can play beautifully, you know.
I do not, and would prefer it remain that way.
Freya, do you mind picking up that story about your brother? I think you said a giant had appeared in Vanaheim.
That's right. Her name was Gerd, and she came offering to teach us the secrets of traveling between realms using Bifrost light.
Freya, getting back to your brother learning to realm travel. You said he fell in love with his teacher.
Yes, Gerd. Someone he could wander with as never before.
Brother, wait. Do you notice that?
A berserker gravestone. Prepare for another fight. Look here.
From under the pool, dagger and bitter than friendship. Right flank! Behind you, brother!
On your guard, Kratos! Die screaming!
What's your right?
Live there.
Before I shacked up with the Aesir, aye. Another of my spectacular failures.
In capturing these spirits, you seek redemption.
I just want to send these bloody monsters to hell where they belong. Wouldn't exactly call it redemption, but I know I'll feel better once it's over. Freya, getting back to your brother learning to realm travel. You said he fell in love with his teacher.
Yes, Gerd. Someone he could wander with as never before.
Hold. We will finish later.
Getting back to your brother learning to realm travel. You said he fell in love with his teacher.
Yes, Gerd. Someone he could wander with as never before. So, wander they did, exploring the world tree from root to branch. But one day, it came time for Gerd to wander away. Freyr was heartbroken, and resolved himself to perform some great feat to win her back.
Wait. Let us look this way.
Oh, it looks as though the Light Elves sealed off this section of the Barrens. Why?
Luckily for us, a very considerate goddess has enhanced our magic chisel, and we can unseal it.
My, that is lucky.
The Forbidden Sands lay beyond.
Contested territory, according to Bela, and another storm to endure.
I remember when Freyr and I traveled to this realm as children. The desert was healthy and full of life back then. I can't help but fear that era has ended for good, and our efforts here are futile.
It's a fair concern. Healing this land will take more than a pair of singing Halfgufa. But I have to believe, in the long run, we're doing right by ALFHEIM. Well, best we start looking for a way underground.
Keep a lookout for a cave! I see an entrance!
Freyr never saw how poorly these lands fared in his absence, did he? He would appreciate our efforts out here.
Aye. Hearing the Song of the Sands again is a rare privilege, even if it's only a solo act.
Or a duet, once this Hofgufa is free. This architecture. It is not of the Dark Elves.
An abandoned ancient settlement, by the looks of it. Built long before the Lightwell's creation.
More hive matter as well.
I'd say we're on the right track then.
This kind of hive material is sensitive to sound. How odd. When I last came here with you and Atreus, I assumed the absence of ALFHEIM's light was an aberration. I didn't realize it was covered by hive matter.
Aye. And as far as the Dark Elves are concerned, it's that light column in the center of the temple that's the aberration. Just look at how old some of these surfaces are.
More hive, but denser. Well, there you go.
Enemies on the left! Skillful!
Brother! The wee bastard's about to explode!
Behind you! Incoming!
Right, watch out! Up above! Poison!
Light elves.
Aye, give him what for!
Skillful!
Behind you!
Skillful!
Light elves don't often travel underneath the barrens, do they?
Territory changes hands often in ALFHEIM. Or so it appears.
Big Veer did mention that these ruins have historical significance for the Light Elves. I assume they're only here to keep intruders out.
Well, at least they tried.
I suspect the corpse below would disagree. Good eye. Let's continue, shall we? Partner, right flank!
Enemy behind you, Kratos! The Alpha! I hope freeing these half-goofers will allow them to breed again. It was a dazzling display once. The skies of ALFHEIM filled with their song.
I imagine it's the lack of fresh light that's caused this pair to grow abnormally large. No use in having babies if there's nothing for them to feed on.
Trying to protect their children from a harsh world. I can relate. I wonder if these two comprehend the choice they face once free.
What choice do you speak of?
The life cycle of the Hofgufa. In order to breed, they must pass on their light to their children.
And without light, they will die.
I suppose that's all any of us can hope for in the end. That our death has purpose. That we can live on through our children. Given another chance, I know what choice I would make. Good. Almost there. Well done. Time to set it loose.
Aye. Back to the surface then. Right side!
A pipe.
Used in many of Freyr's blessings, I imagine.
The fate of these creatures. It reminds me of a story.
Does it?
There once was a blacksmith whose king commanded him to construct a box that could contain all the evils of the world. But no metal could hold such a power. So the blacksmith used the flame of...
Is this a story meant to ease my grief?
Perhaps it is just a story. A way to pass the time.
I appreciate the sentiment, but... well, your stories...
What about my stories?
I wouldn't exactly call them a comfort.
Fair. Mimir is the better storyteller.
Now, don't sell yourself short, brother. You've come a long way from the days of laconic fables.
It's okay. Finish your story, Kratos.
The blacksmith's daughter was the key to unlocking the box. She died trying to protect her from those who would open it.
Well, at least it's a relatable story.
It appears we've overstayed our welcome in ALFHEIM. Yet again.
Time to end this storm.
If my stories are of no comfort, take solace in knowing you did what you thought was best for your son's safety. Even these creatures know. There is little choice for a parent. You are not alone.
I'm not, am I? And now neither are they.
get misty. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Kratos. This land sings once more. We've done good here.
No rush to leave yet, is there? Who knows what kind of adventures await us in our freshly lit barrens?
A monument to Freyr. I wonder if he ever saw this.
That's odd. The runes are dark.
I'm grateful to see Freyr remembered this way. But what purpose does all this serve?
Difficult to say without an inscription. But it looks like the elves built this place together, light and dark. Which means this would have been their first act of cooperation in generations. A far cry from lasting peace, but perhaps it served as a monument. One that symbolizes the potential for peace.
This statue may have survived Freya's absence, but a truce clearly did not. Monuments are useless to those who ignore their message.
He didn't create a truce through diplomacy alone. His godhood, his very presence is what healed this land and allowed peace to take root. But once he left, he had to have known what would happen.
Well, he had good reason to leave. Some jackass convinced his sister to marry a madman.
You said monuments are useless. Why restore this one?
It was hidden for some time. Perhaps now it can serve as a reminder.
Aye. Nothing reminds people of their history like chiseled, well-lit marble.
These crystals contain their own light.
You're right. Normally we'd have to provide our own. Perhaps slotting a crystal on the opposite side could shed some light on this mystery. Looks like we can read the inscription now as well. In honor of the Enlightened One, may his gift of light shine eternal. Ah.
Light from the crystals. It is in the sand now.
Would you look at that? Freyr's gift endures after all. Or should I say, his presence?
You are not funny.
Even when Freyr was actually here, the peace was fragile. Surely a bit of extra light in the desert isn't enough to make it last.
Before I met Faye, I could not imagine a life of peace. After her death, in our travels to Jotunheim, I found peace on my own. It remains my responsibility to make it last.
I only hope his guidance will last this time.
We will see. But he has given them a chance.
A key?
A key.
Must open something around here.
Freya, a flower.
A dawn bloom.
Another sleeping troll, courtesy of the dwarves. The tablet spoke of a relic that could arouse the trolls. I wonder, do you think we could use such an item on that troll?
Mimir, tell me more of Yari.
After leaving his family, he wandered the realms in search of something unnameable. But in all his wondrous travels, nothing satisfied him. Until he met another wanderer in search of something similar. Unnameable. He was called Somar.
Let us find the final ingredient.
Freya, getting back to your brother. What did he do to win back Dirk? And how did it end up with him being worshipped in Alfheim?
Well, Freyr thought big. He set his aim on the grandest of gestures. He intended to be the first to find the elusive
Brother,
source.
you smell trouble, yeah? I knew it coming!
A vengeful berserker gravestone.
The altar that stole it. Nasty hit! You all right, brother? really a king. Just called himself one because he killed the previous king.
Someone you knew.
Aldis. A kind man. A trusting man.
He trusted this usurper. This Rolf.
No. Aldis trusted me. And, fool that I am, I trusted Rolf.
So now you seek revenge. A dangerous path.
You're one to talk.
I am an authority on the subject. You would do well to listen.
Another key, eh? Sooner or later.
A light elf statue in the desert. Odd.
On top of ancient elven ruins? I'd have to agree. Need to take out those springs, brother!
That's it! It's vulnerable when it
Nicely
blows!
done! Keep on it! Behind you, brother!
Now! Attack!
Save yourself something! Don't waste it! Behind you! Look out! That's some of Kvasir's poetry. Perhaps we can bring these two animals back to Vanaheim, or Midgard even. Becky and Svanna could use the company. We have kennels.
It would not go well for them. Once a predator becomes accustomed to a land, it is cruel to move them.
I suppose you're right. Just seems lonely out here.
It is peaceful. They have each other. It is enough. Jewelry.
Oh? Put it on one of my horns. Let's see if I can pull it off. Archive of knowledge.
No sign of the Light Elves.
For now.
Maybe they've left for the day, and we can browse at our leisure.
These rooms.
That's the last of the missing schematics. I suspect you've got some new sword hilts in your future.
These texts alone are not enough to end the Elven War. But restricting their access only serves those who wish to prolong it.
Taking a page out of Odin's book.
Aye. Quite the advantage for the Light Elves.
Sealed, but there is an inscription. Console.
Bigveer spoke of an exile of the same name. Odds are he'd like a gander at that particular text.
All this knowledge of their ancestors, their shared history, poetry, it's just sitting here, forgotten. What a waste.
godofwar.
Ah, it appears the librarian would like a word.
Lata frambok.
Sounds like she wants that journal back.
No.
Shield strike now!
No salva. Thought. Megivita. How go broting on?
She thinks she's protecting them by hiding all this knowledge away.
The elves do not need protection from their history. They need access. A new chapter awaits.
I'm impressed. Thought you were going to end her.
When last we traveled here, after fate passed, I killed an elf of great importance. The ramifications were dire for his people. I do not wish to make the same mistake twice.
You know, Freyr loved to breed Gulag pups in Vanaheim. I wonder if these two are the descendants of the Gulag who brought here long ago.
That explains how they got to the desert. Another gift for the Dark Elves. Freya, returning to the story of your brother, you said he made it his mission to find the source of Bifrost light.
He did indeed.
Let this wait. Stay alert.
Hit the light orb! Right leg! Got him!
Light elf architecture. It's massive. Something is coming, and it's not happy.
Here it comes! Here it comes!
What on earth was a drake doing back there?
Your guess is as good as mine. Imprisoning a drake. Can't decide whether to be impressed or horrified.
Either way, it is over now. A token.
A badge of honor. The elves made a few of them. They'd hang them up outside their dwellings. Show their support for my brother. That's all my brothers took.
Prefer we hang on to them.
Do what you will. Frank wouldn't bother taking them. He wouldn't want to see the dwarves.
I wonder, how'd these two pups end up yoked to the sled?
Ever try flying in a sandstorm? I imagine Freyr showed the Dark Elves that Gulon could be trained to pull a plow. They must have found new uses for them once the sandstorm arrived. I imagine they're now bred to aid in traveling the surface.
Freya, returning to the story of your brother, you said he made it his mission to find the source of Bifrost light.
He did indeed. And he succeeded, although quite by accident. Freyr believed he navigated best while fortified by a potent blend of Vanir herbs. When he wandered, he wandered. And he managed to wander from the World Tree directly into the Lake of Souls.
Set that aside for now. Come.
Freya, that story before of your brother, You said he wandered from the World Free to the Lake of Souls.
It's true. The elves have never seen anybody come out of the lake before, so it got some attention.
Oh, that is bloody hilarious.
I don't know whether he worked his charms at that point or they just assumed him to be a great deity. But of course, he hadn't made this journey in search of responsibility, so he didn't stick around long. Still, the legend of his manifestation was passed along through the ages. It even endured after the Great Division, remembered by light and dark elf alike. So when at last he returned, he was uniquely situated to gain the trust of both sides and help to create a truce. The problem was, both sides did only him. So the peace could only last as long as he stayed around to keep it. And with the long war dragging on without an end in sight, I suppose making any kind of peace was an irresistible notion for him. Even if it meant having to rule.
Hey, hot stuff. Remember, I need that ore. Quality stuff for you. Oh, your enemies are gonna be in lots of pieces. Wow, never worked on blades like these before.